Hey folks, today's show we're going to do a little bit of cooking. I want to show you how to make or how to prepare catfish on the bone in 4 different ways. Now some of you may be thinking, well, who in the world wants to eat catfish on the bone? A lot of folks here, especially older folks down here in the South, they don't like the fillets that much. They like the fish with the bone in them. And the truth is, it tastes a little bit different. I like to eat the catfish with the bone in them. So I'm going to show you 4 different ways that you can prepare catfish when you catch them and they're whole. And these are all fried. All these recipes are fried. So let's get started. This catfish right here, you might say, my goodness, what a small catfish. Now it's been skinned, it's ready to eat, but I'm telling you, you get a catfish like that, that is one of the best eaten channel catfish that you can eat. All you have to do to this thing is just put some salt on it, whatever breading you want, and it is ready to fry. And if you may think, my goodness, that thing's too small, give it a try. Eat you one of these small catfish. They are so full of flavor. They are great. I love to eat them. So the first way that you can prepare catfish on the bone is catch you some small ones like this. You don't have to do anything but salt them, bread them, and put them in the fryer. Now, let's move up just a little bit. This catfish is a little bit bigger. That's more what some people might consider an eating size catfish. Now you'll notice it's got a good tail on it. It's got these fins. These folks down here in the South, y'all, they love to eat the fins. They love to eat the tail. You don't have to cut those things off. They are absolutely delicious. They fry up, man. They're like potato chips, buddy, that are deep fried. They're delicious. So all you do now is you take this fish just like this right here. But there may be one thing you want to do to it as you get ready to fry it, and I'll show you. All right, you want to take this catfish, get you a knife, nice little fillet knife, make you a gash in him all the way down to that bone. Come out another couple of inches out maybe, make you another gash all the way to the bone. Do that all the way down. When you've done that, flip him over. You want to do it on your other side. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make sure that this fish is fried evenly all throughout the fish there. So you can see those gashes that we put on there. You don't have to do this, but you know, sometimes when you're frying a fish whole, your concern is he going to be done all the way at the bone? So make you some gashes just like that. And then you're going to put you some salt on it. You're going to put you some breading on it. You're going to be ready to go. So that's the second way to prepare your catfish for frying that are on the bone. Now this is a little bigger. This is probably a 1.5 pounds, maybe a 2-pound catfish. You can see how big that tail is, and that may be a little difficult for you to fry whole. So what are you going to do with this? You're going to do something a little bit different. Actually, what we're going to do, some of the old timers around here, they call this pork chopping it. We're going to cut it into chunks, and then we're going to get it ready to fry. I'll show you. So we're just going to come up here. I'm going to cut this into 3 pieces. And on these bigger pieces, I'm going to gash it just like I did that other fish. You don't have to do it on that tail piece. You don't have to gash that. You can if you want to, but you don't have to. It should fry up pretty easy. So that's what you do on a bigger piece like that. You cut it up into chunks, gash it, and it's ready to go. Now this is an even bigger whole catfish. This is actually a flathead catfish, one of the best catfish that are out there in the river. Now the first thing I'm going to do here on this fish is I'm going to cut this belly meat off. I skinned this catfish, and that belly meat on a flathead is the best part of a flathead catfish. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut off these flaps, and that's going to make 2 really big pieces of meat. Going to come right here underneath. You can feel where his rib bones are, right under his rib cage. We're going to cut that off. I'm gonna cut this little fin right here off too. That's a beautiful piece of meat. So now we got these two big pieces of meat right there. Take them, cut them in half. That's a fillet, that's a fillet. That's a fillet, that's a fillet. Now, what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna cut this fish off the bone. I'm just gonna go ahead and fillet him off the bone. And technically, I know that's not eating catfish on the bone, but this is just 4 things you can do to your catfish that you have that are on the bone. Beautiful piece of meat right there. Big fillet. A little bit of rib bone in there. That don't matter. They can eat around the bones. Bone is still in some of that fish. Because a lot of people like the bone. So there we go. So now we're just going to salt these bad boys up. I like a lot of salt on my fish. You don't have to do this if you're using a batter that already has the salt in it. You don't have to do it, but I'm telling you, I like a lot of salt on my fish. So even when I use a batter that has it in it already, a lot of times I'll salt them anyway. As I get older, that might not be good for me. Might not be good for me now. But, you know, you only live once. So, do it like you like it. If you like a lot of salt, put a lot of salt on there. If you don't like a lot of salt, don't put a lot of salt on there. This is going to be good stuff, y'all. Real good stuff. This is what I'm using today. New Orleans, Louisiana fish fry. I've used it before, it's pretty good. Most of the time I just use straight cornmeal. So I put that in my batter box. Make sure your fillets aren't real wet. You might want to take a paper towel or something and douse them. You don't want your fillets to be real wet, or your batter won't stick to them like they should. It's going to look something like that. Or that. I got my oil turned on. I'm going to heat it up to about 350, 375. Then I'll put these fish in. All right, so we got them in the oil. Probably going to take about 7-8 minutes. You just want to watch them, and usually when they're floating, they're done. But you can keep an eye on them. It's not hard to tell. At 350, between 350 and 375, it's going to take you probably about 5 to 7 minutes to cook them. Some people like them cooked real crispy. Others, you know, like them a little soft. Whatever suits you best. And that's what it looks like, y'all. This is good stuff. I mean, this is good stuff, y'all. This is going to be some good supper for us tonight. Let me show you just a little piece. See this little old fella I was telling you about? Oh, you talk about good. Oh, you talk about good. Oh my goodness. If you've never eaten one of these little guys, you gotta try it. This tail, folks, don't throw that tail away. That thing is good. I'm gonna eat this whole little catfish right now. Hey folks, I appreciate you for tuning in today. Go cook you some catfish. Cook you some catfish on the bone. It's great stuff. Till next time, this is Catfish Kyle. I'll be seeing you.